Assalamu alaikum. My name is Nicolette Hodge.
Assalamu alaikum, I'm Hodge. This is the Sunday Critique.
We stand with and represent Master Solomon, the Son of Man, the Messenger of the Covenant, and the Breaker of the Seven Seals. He is the scientist that has the full 360 degrees of knowledge. Now, brothers and sisters, what we do on the Sunday Critique is we evaluate the so-called information being given by the NOI broadcast, and we give you clean water. We give you wisdom of self. We bring understanding to what's going on right here in real time, which is something the NOI cannot do. They're not speaking about anything going on in the world right now. They're not telling us what's going to happen before it happens or what it is that we need to do to secure ourselves. And so today's title is The Trials of Life and Death, the Essential Quality of Faith. Now they're bringing in their top demons from all over the country to try to make it look like the NOI is unified. Farrakhan is Legion, the chief demon. Louis Eugene Grounds, that's what LEG stands for. ION is the NOI backwards. That's exactly what Farrakhan has done. He has completely turned the NOI backwards, dissolved all of the assets, and put the money in his pockets. Not only that, he's brought in Sunniism, the golden calf, which is what Aaron would do. He is Aaron. And have our people running around in the wilderness for 42 years. Don't know your right hand from your left hand. On top of Sunniism, he's brought in Scientology, Dianetics, and Masonry. And he's allowed devils into the NOI. That's because he is a devil himself. His father is a false Jew, Percival Clark. Farrakhan himself is a false Jew and black skin. He's a demon. That's what a devil man is, a demon. And so all of those who are following Farrakhan are mainly demons. He has brought in his top heavy hitters from all over the country to show that they're unified. They brought the demon in from Tennessee and one in from San Diego. Last week it was one of their top demons from New York. And it's not giving our people any guidance as to what's going on right now in the world and what it is that we need to be doing. That's because they're not our people. They're demons preparing for their demon war, where they will try to take America by force. And so they come in speaking about this, how to eat to live. That is their advertisement to get more money in their pockets, because they know that how to eat to live is not relevant right now, brothers and sisters. We have the 5 fundamental mathematical pillars of Islam. That is our shield, our protection, our very nature of righteousness. 1 meal a day fasting, that is part of our 5 fundamental mathematical pillars of Islam. They get up here and say that how to eat to live will prolong your life. And then the next speaker comes up and says that life and death is in the hands of God, which they're talking like the church, making everything spooky, and saying that if God wants to take you right now, then death is, God's choice at the end of the day, not ours. So what's the point in doing how to eat to live? Saying that how to eat to live will lengthen our lifespan, but we could just be taken at the drop of a dime whenever this mystery God decides that he's ready to call us home, which that's fake. And so go ahead. You want to add anything?
Just dropped it so quick. Yeah, I go from, well, this to the next thing.
Sure.
Memphis. Well, the guy from Memphis, I didn't get his name. Came in and he said, "You see death. It's everywhere around us right now. Death is all around us. And the word that changes." Wait, he said that the word changes us from the inside and not from the outside. That you need to be changed. This is where change. You need to be changed from the inside out, and that change is for you. So then you can go change your community, helping your community. So
That's demon language in itself.
the whole thing is that they're on this self improvement, which that is one of the agendas of the chief demon, to get us into this, to turn the nation into a self improvement organization. One of the counter intelligence program, one of the things on the list in the counter intelligence program. So that, that's where they're at as a whole. Each speaker that came up started talking about how you improve yourself, and it's self improvement. That's the thing that they're speaking about, is constantly self improvement. Basically, God from within, or God from abroad. Where is God at? This mystery God that they speak about are always throwing it around like as God is this mystery, and God is a man, but they don't speak on it as a man. God is in the womb, which are in the darkness. Well, we'll get to that when I get to Ishmael. However, that's this and change. And then he started talking about we have to be born again. There are stages and processes in having to be born again. Oh, well, that was Ishmael too, wasn't it?
Yes, and they're being spooky. And what's going on is they're getting a lot of questions about what's going on, and about the student minister, Dr. Ava. They are talking about how people are emotional. And the whole point that they're trying to make, which is completely unmathematical, is don't worry about nothing. Don't ask no questions. Just have faith in Farrakhan. And they're saying that understanding is the last to come. The whole thing about that, brothers and sisters, is faith is based on facts. You put a pot of water on the stove to boil, you don't know that it's going to boil, but you know that you followed all the mathematical steps in order for that pot of water to boil. Are you baking a cake? You don't know how the cake is going to turn out, but you know you follow all the mathematical steps, all the measurements correctly for this cake to turn out perfectly. You have faith. So they throwing this word faith around, and they don't even know what faith means in itself. They're talking just like the demons in the church. There's no difference. These demons are set in place to keep our people misled. So they got the demons in the church, demons in the NOI, the Democratic Party running America. They're all over. And with him talking about this faith, it's completely unmathematical, because there is no facts being given for them to work, for anybody to work off of. And so they're on the defense. They are fighting to keep their head above water, and they know that they're going down hard, because nothing that they're saying makes any sense. Farrakhan is being exposed as the liar that he is. And everywhere he tried to run and hide under any rock, we pulling it up and exposing him again. And so, do you want to add anything?
Well, I'm just gonna go to the share that so they're offering the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's what they're saying that they're offering. And the essential, okay. We would not be here lifting or speaking about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad if it wasn't for Louis Farrakhan. So that's the beginning of Ishmael's speech, that they wouldn't even be here speaking. No one would be even teaching or speaking about lifting up the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad without Louis Farrakhan. And that's also a lie. Louis Farrakhan will tell you that when the messenger was taken, he was the first to start bad mouthing the messenger. He said he was the one responsible. He was the mouthpiece of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He didn't stand up. It was him. He was the one in charge. With that being the case, he didn't say a word. He ran. He talks about being a soldier. He wasn't a soldier then. He ran and didn't say a thing. Turned his back. And then allowed somebody outside of the nation that was kicked out. Wallace wasn't even in the nation at the time. Allowed him to come in and take over. And here, Wallace and Lewis are the ones that tore the nation apart, tore it down, took it apart, dismantled it, and came up with something called the Belalians. So, and he was the head spokesman, the head imam in the Belalians. So, he's talking about would nobody be there teaching, lifting up the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, when he's the one that tore the nation down. He's the one, him and Wallace they together dismantled the Nation of Islam. So, that's other than the truth. Let's put it like that, because he's the one who tore it down. The government didn't come tear it down. Lewis and Wallace tore the nation down, and Wallace, they took the money, they sold all the businesses, sold all the assets, and took all the money that they can get and ran with it. And once Wallace got all the money, he kicked Farrakhan, kicked him loose, kicked him to the side. He didn't need him no more.
So then he goes into talking about how, this is his words, we are seeking a word that will give us comfort and strength, a word to give us hope. And there are some that want to know who we are and what we represent. This is Ishmael speaking.
Oh, yeah. And they're saying that because death, you know, they're saying that death is something that they can't they, they can't
Control?
basically they can't control, and it's this death is utilized sometime as a test, a test for you to see how strong your faith is. You see, um, and then that's where you need these words of comfort to uplift you and to give you hope and what else, um, to give you what you need to proceed in doing what you're going to do, or to keep on the path that you're on. So, like you said, something had to be, being asked about um, something that the people are asking for, and they don't want the people to. They're saying that because of one that you look up to. This is what he shared. Being took by death. And he said that Sister Ava was alive. She was given from alive, and then she was returned back to alive. So when you listen to all these things, then you got How to Eat to Live. You got them sharing with us how to, like you was just sharing, how to prolong your life. But you don't have no control of how you exit or how long you're gonna live. That God has authority over that anyway. So like you were saying, that doesn't matter about how you eat to live then. If you're taken suddenly, or you know what I'm saying, so you don't have no control over your destination or what time when you're gonna die, anything like that. So then it gets to going off into it's kind of hard to explain because it's more spooky than factual. If that way you at to where it was going, and then getting to the point to where we're quoting scriptures and reading them out of the scriptures and talking about it as if it relates, or you have any understanding of the scriptures. When you don't have any understanding of the scriptures at all, you go from Adam and Eve, and they knew that they were sinning, or they knew they had done something. God seen you, and God already know what you're gonna do. God sees everything. God knows that when you're gonna die. So all these things that is being shared is like, okay, well, God provides you to do something, but He already know what you're gonna do anyway.
And all that is a bunch of personal philosophy, and scriptures warn us against that in Colossians chapter 2. See to it that no one takes you captive by philosophy and empty deceit according to human tradition, according to the elemental spirits of the world and not according to Christ. All of this philosophy and nothing that they're saying can be proven, and deceiving our people. The demons don't care. And this is human, it's saying according to human tradition, according to the elemental spirits of the world, and not according to Christ. So they spooky thinking got them up here giving this philosophy and deceit. And what it boils down to is, I don't care who you are, death brings up concerns. And these concerns are being brought to them, and they cannot alleviate those in the NOI of their concerns surrounding this death. And them getting up there, pushing it under the rug is far more alarming. And saying, just trust in the law, have faith, and, then he's coming in with this lie, saying that Allah brought you in the womb or made you in the womb, and Allah is the one to take you out.
In a dark place. Said, he brought it in from, we're in a dark place. The dark place that he was speaking on in the beginning was like, we're in a dark place in the world. You know what I'm saying? That's where it came from. And initially, you understand what I'm saying? Wasn't that where you was at?
Right. He said they are in a dark place.
The world is in a dark state. We are in a dark state in the world right now. That's what it started from. That we're in a dark state of the world is in a dark state, meaning dark times. Then, in this dark place, God formed you in darkness, in this dark, in your mother's womb, in this darkness. And you made it through this darkness. And then, can I?
Yeah.
Because he said, you was in the darkness by yourself. But then you was in the darkness with the God. It was just you. Your mama wasn't there with you. Your daddy wasn't there with you. God was there with you in this dark place when you made it. Then he started to go into, what's the song? We made it. You made it.
Was it a church song?
Yeah. Did you hear that part? We made it. He started like going into the church hymn. With God, you can make it. We made it.
I mean, every week he comes in with some type of song. He came with singing Santa Claus last week.
So it was the thing about it's like
let's get back to that womb part real quick. That's completely unmathematical, brothers and sisters. Okay, Farrakhan's saying that God made you in the womb. Let's explore that real quick. He's responsible for making you in the womb. What about the children that come out malfunction, have disabilities, retardation? How did God let that slip past him? What about the babies that come out stillborn and the miscarriages? How could God miss that? It's completely unmathematical. We are at the center of our reality. We're responsible for every event that takes place to us. We are the ones who is making these things happen. Your mother and your father got together and procreated, and that seed was placed into your mother's womb.
When he said that God held that seed, God took that seed up there.
No.
God was with you. While you was a seed, he grabbed that one seed. All them other million seeds that was fighting to get to the womb, God took you.
And that's
and
completely
took
mathematical
you.
because only the one seed that could stay focused is the one that got to that egg. It had nothing to do with anything else. This is how it happens with animals, humans. And so what Farrakhan is trying to do is get around the fact that he is a demon. He don't want you to know, which is public information. If you don't know it by now, you don't want to see it, or you're a demon and you don't care. He's trying to get around the fact that he is a devil. He is a devil man. That's what a demon is. And so your father carries a seed. If your father's a devil, that makes you a demon. If your father's original, that makes you original. It don't matter what your mother is. And so that's why he keeps coming in talking about this. God formed you in the womb to override the fact that his seed, the seed of his father, which is Farrakhan, is the seed of a devil. Farrakhan is a devil.
That's another thing that he got into. He shared that he said that you don't know. A real test is to be told to do something that you don't know the outcome of, or you don't know why you're doing it, or you don't know if it's right. You can't decipher if it's right or wrong. Just do it. You remember that?
That's completely that's very foolish.
And you'll get the understanding of it later. That's what he said. You don't know. You can't understand why you're doing it right now. You gonna understand. You'll find understanding later on. But just do it. Now this is a real test of faith, because you don't know. You don't have the why or what or the knowledge of it, but you just gotta go on and just do it, and then later on you'll find the understanding in it. And he was trying to use, well, he spoke from the scenario of Moses with the wise man, and the wise man put a hole in the boat, and a lot of it was going here and there. And another thing that stood out with that is he was sharing that when you're looking at a person of God, you're not looking at them. You're not looking at the physical. You're not. You're looking at the you, and not come. You have not come in touch with what came through the physical. So, saying that, when he was saying that, he was speaking on Sister Ava, that the people was looking at the physical Sister Ava, and you wasn't paying attention and looking at what was coming through Sister Ava and who made this come through her. And you wasn't paying attention to the electricity and the word of what was coming through it, Sister Ava. So you was looking at the physical. You wasn't looking at that part that was gonna be here and gone. So you wasn't paying attention to the what made Sister Ava. Now, putting that in perspective, he was saying, it, in words, it's not the physical It's not the physical person there. It's what's inside of the physical person that you need to be paying attention to, because that physical person is taken. Now you got to pay attention to what he say? The electricity. And that's exactly what he said. The electricity that was inside Sister Amy, that you should be paying attention to. You got to start to take your mind off of the physical and look at that, what was inside of that physical, and pay attention to that God or that electricity that was inside of her.
So spooky, brothers and sisters.
That's where it left. That's exactly what I'm like.
None of that adds up.
I'm trying to add this up to even bring it back and speak on it, and it's hard to speak on something that doesn't even make any sense. It's just hard too. But that's and this is a trial. Her death, this is what he was getting to. Where, sisters, y'all love, when you love somebody and you're hurt, you're confused, you grieving, you upset why they're left, and you just don't know why you don't want to continue. You're having a hard time. This is him. Finding your way. You want to know. You got asked questions, and you want to ask God, why did they leave? Why did you take them like that? Well, this could be a trial for your faith. This is a trial, and you don't know why she was taken, but it can be a trial for your faith. So your life is, you got to say, your life is, that's why we pray. And our prayers say our life is for Allah in death and after death. So after death, you can see, this is the after death that you need to be looking at, that electricity of her that is now here after her death, of what she did, or why she stood for Louis Farrakhan. That's what was shared.
They're in trouble over there, brothers and sisters.
So
they have to come up here and come up with anything to try to answer these questions that are coming at them left and right. And the whole thing about it is, Farrakhan is calling himself Jesus. He's calling himself the Messiah. He's calling himself Aaron. Aaron is correct. If you're Jesus or a Messiah, for one, when was Jesus ever a hypocrite? Farrakhan, out of his own mouth, admitted that he is a hypocrite. So we know he's lying about that. However, if you're the Messiah, why are your top student ministers dropping left and right? It doesn't add up. And so he's not the Messiah. He's not Jesus. He knows that he's lying. That's why he tell you, don't ask no questions, just have faith.
Yeah, he said, we've been tried by deprivation. Deprivation is the loss of life.
Got that wrong too.
Deprivation is the loss of life. You know, this is when he said, when we never would have made it. That's we. I don't mean to laugh, but you got to speak that deprivation and loss of life is losing a life is part of the deprivation. And with God, we made it. So we have to depend on God to make it. And he starts saying, I made it. We never would have made it without God with you. God was with you in that dead space in the womb. God brought you, He carries you to in that dead space in your mother's womb. Your mama wasn't with you.
So all a lie. And like I said, it's to
that
cover up that he is a demon.
that God brought you through. And without God, we never would have made it. And they got to really kind of hum that we made it. Yes, sir. That's what. So basically saying that this whole thing of even trying to give you what was spoken on was what's the word that you used? Spoken brought out
Philosophy.
A man's philosophy of this world. They had, and it was all a part of trying to curve questions that is asked instead of coming out with a straight answer or having a straight answer for what people was asking, and then telling people that their concerns and their love for the sister is understood, and for whatever reason you're asking what you're asking, you just need to have faith that you're in the right place, and your faith should be in Louis Farrakhan, and that's all you need to know. And he will lead you. He's been leading us, and not us. He's been leading the nation, and he's leading us in the right direction. And that's basically what was shared, and that's what he said. Louis Farrakhan has been leading us, and we don't know why what God is doing with him. We just supposed to follow him. That's verbatim.
And what he's doing is he's calling you all stupid. He's saying that you can't think for yourself, and that your questions are not valid, and that you are not capable of comprehending what's going on. And he's telling you, don't think. This is exactly what they did to us during agricultural slavery, because we still in slavery right now. It's industrial slavery. We've been in the Holocaust the whole time, and you were not allowed to ask Massa any questions. You was to obey every order. And they mentioned twice about how they are working to obey Farrakhan. The second time when Ishmael came in and talked about obeying Farrakhan, his whole thing was, don't let your loss of faith or your lack of faith cause you not to be obedient. And it's sick because Farrakhan is massive.
Then again, in the same breath, that's always a contradiction. You got to come to end as a baby, a child, not knowing, not just, and children ask questions. They want to find out. They have concern. They ask questions, but you can't ask no questions. Yeah, it's just
he's calling
always
exactly. He's calling you stupid. He's saying that you can't. And the thing about it, just think about it. If you don't stand for nothing, you're gonna fall for anything. So if you're falling for that, then I mean you're just as silly as what he is portraying you to be. The demons don't care. However, it's the fact of the matter that you're to follow orders without asking any questions. That's sick, because we are capable of thinking Especially if you have knowledge yourself, you're capable of thinking and asking questions and trying to understand things. And so with him telling you don't ask any questions, just obey and just listen, that shows how he views you. Okay, and the whole thing about it is he's putting up a facade because he knows the answers to these questions.
I don't know if you could answer them, because sure, he might know, babe.
And the main thing he should be bringing to our people
is what's taking place.
Is what's going on in the world right now, and he cannot speak to any of that. And the thing about that is he can't see it.
Nothing was, nothing was spoken on about what's taking place and what's happening right now, and what you can be speaking on to get the people prepared for what's taking place in the world. It's so much going on. It's countless things going on that can be spoken about, that can be getting our people prepared for what's happening in the world today. And those things are not spoken about, not even brought into the minds of the people. And then the one thing that I'm gonna let you take it from here is, when they come in and start and begin, and they said this 3 times during the meeting, but it might have been 4, but I know 3 for sure. We're God's chosen people that have been what did he didn't say persecuted. He said in the flaming furnace or something. We are the ones that have been in the furnace, basically being afflicted. We are God's chosen people. However, that's it. That's all that you was given. It's all that you're God's chosen people. You've been in the furnace. You're God's chosen people. You're Abraham's seed. You're the seed that's been afflicted for 400 years. You're the seed. We're the seed that after the 400 years, which was 2020, 1619 to 2019, that the plague came out. And after that, we are going home. This nation is being judged, and we're going back to our land that was promised by Allah promised to Abraham by Allah, that his seed will return back to the land from the great river Egypt to the river Euphrates. That Allah made a covenant with Abraham, promising that his seed will return back, and that his seed will have this land, and that's where they will return to after this 400 years, after Allah judged this nation. So none of those things that can be shared with you that is beneficial to you and right now, and how you being the true seed of Abraham, how us as a people are affecting how the scriptures and the unsealed scriptures and us as a people are affecting what's taking place and what's happening in the world today. None of those things are being shared with you. Nothing with direction and purpose are coming from you, as they keep saying that they're the Messiah, they're this, they're that, but they're not leading us with no information, giving us nothing that is helpful, nothing that you can utilize right now today that's speaking on what's happening right now. It's all something that the How to Eat to Live, something that happened 20, 30 years ago, that not beneficial. So that's how it's easy to separate the truth from falsehood, because they not giving you no truth. They don't know no truth. It's all what's that word again?
Philosophy.
Philosophy. It's all philosophizing. Somebody's philosophy. It ain't giving no, and you can't prove nothing that they're saying. You have to say nothing. Just like they haven't broke any seals. They don't know the scriptures. And just like, is that the same story that the slave master been telling you since day one? Yeah, Adam and Eve, the snake came and hissed, and yeah, like God didn't know that they was doing wrong. That they were seen. That's the same narration that the Christians that Master gave you in slavery. That yeah, Adam and Eve bit the apple. Now you holding. He said now they holding up something. Why you holding that up in front of you?
No, to cover themselves
up. Have no understanding of the scriptures whatsoever. None. That's not even what that means. But
Adam and Eve is two different countries.
But I'm just saying, just flat out about the type of narration, the type of thought, where the thoughts are, the information is coming from, the brain, the matter in it.
It's just like the church.
Nothing there. It's just like the church that you was getting when you was enslaved.
Well, who's running the church? Demons are running the church too. Farrakhan's own brothers and sisters is running the church. So it's not a surprise that he's saying the same thing they're saying in church. He's a demon as well. And so he's up there glorifying the rappers, talking about they came out with a new sound. And he's always been in bed with these entertainers.
Wow.
And go ahead.
You give it.
Okay, he's always been in bed with different entertainers and whatnot. And he does that to keep himself relevant and keep his followers up. And they run to him whenever they get in trouble. He gets money from them. And the whole thing about it is, we know that we are, the world is rocking to our rhythm. And we have a new sound that we will be producing a new sound here with our next energy wave. Go ahead. You want to ask something on it?
All right. I'm yes, the demons went through. They were terrorized as well as us being terrorized.
Right.
They didn't go through it as hard as we went through it, but they were terrorized. They was afflicted. So they had to receive a reward here in America for what they've been through. So they was allowed to be successful here. That's why you see the demons, the 17 million of them. When you think that you're looking at the original people, you're looking at the demons and their success, because they was going to be successful right here with their fathers. And they wanted more of what their fathers had. They just wanted their part. And that's what they've been given. That's their success. That's their reward. They had to get a reward for what they've been through, because they were also afflicted, not as in the same way we were, but they did go through it. So they had to get a piece of a reward, and they have been allowed to be successful amongst their fathers. And see, they can have it, because our success and our reward is going home. They can't go home with us. So they had to have an opportunity. They had to receive a reward here.
For every action, there's an opposite or equal reaction. So for the small amount of unpleasantries they went through in the Holocaust, it was nowhere near on the level of what we went through. They get their consequence, which is them being successful right now, right before everything comes to an end. Now back to them Farrakhan glorifying these different rappers and whatnot. They're demons as well. And the whole thing about it is the rhythm and the sound, appeals to us because our hearts are connected and we pick up on these different vibrations. We are in tune. But the words are complete trash. And they put these demons up there to depict us as complete idiots, clowns, whores, pimps, junkies. And so with him glorifying these rappers and whatnot, these entertainers have a direct hand in our image being tarnished throughout the media. And we know that they put in place by the false Jews to do that. And so they're telling on themselves. He's in bed with all of our enemies because he is our enemy. That's what it boils down to. He's saying the same thing as the church because he's a demon. There's demons running the church. And they're all put in place to confuse us and keep us from knowing what's truly going on. And so, do you have anything else you want to add? Are we closing? All right. So in closing, the war in the Middle East, any day now. Our God, Master Fard Muhammad, known as Michael, and his angels, Iran and Syria, will be going to war with the dragon, which is the House of Assad, and his angels, false Israel, America, and Britain. Master Fard Muhammad and his Shia will overcome the dragon. All right, and so once false Israel gets destroyed, the whole world is going to realize that we're the true seed of Abraham. It will be undeniable. They're going to attack everyone. The demons are going to come running to us for safety and security. We're sending them right back to their swine daddies, right back into America, right back with Farrakhan. And they're going to tear this country up. That's what Farrakhan is preparing for. Their demon insurrection. That's why he's telling, don't worry about nothing, just have faith. They plan to take this country by force. And so, brothers and sisters, pay attention to what's going on. American news is shielding the truth about what's going on in the Middle East. Farrakhan is shielding the truth about who we are. And they all working hand in hand. You want to add anything? All right. All right, brothers and sisters. And the reason for all of this is the Holocaust. They were supposed to enslave us. They decided to terrorize us and torture us. That's not slavery. That's the Holocaust. And they are paying for it severely. They're going to be getting everything they did to us for 466 years. They'll be getting their full reward, consequence. They paid back all in 1 year. And so there's no getting out of consequence. Just like Farrakhan is about to pay for, he's already paying this chastisement of being disemboweled. Next is public humiliation and then death. He can't get out of that consequence and he knows it. And so we'll be back with another critique. Thank you for having us.